folks, I just wanted to share that experience with you. I just find walking into camp just so exhilarating, so enjoyable. Always makes me excited. I know I'm in for a really good couple of days of fun. So it's just so nice actually walking into the area and walking into the actual shelter itself. So hopefully you guys actually got a little bit of the vibe there as well. But you're joining me out at the shelter and I'm going to be doing an overnighter tonight. So excited. So I was out a couple of weeks ago. I'll put a wee video to the wee link to the video just in the corner there. But I was out a couple of weeks ago and it was just a case of remossing the shelter, etc., so that I could do overnighters. So we're going to be testing how waterproof it is because it's meant to be raining quite hard later on tonight. But I've got a few other wee things planned, so really looking forward to it. It's going to be such a fun one. What I'm going to do just now though is just get camp set up, get everything sort of laid out, and then I'll hook up with you and I'll go through some of the other plans that I've got for the next couple of days, and we'll see how we go. Well, that's me sort of set up, but I've changed over to the beanie. It is freezing. It is really cold, so it's going to be a chilly one tonight. But the main aim for the actual trip itself and the overnighter was I'm going to be doing my vegetables at the Bushcraft garden. So I'm going to be starting the vegetable garden today. So I've got onions and I've also got potatoes there. I'm growing carrots at home just now. And I'll be planting them sort of later on in another few weeks. But it's so exciting to get the garden back going again, and it's just such an amazing experience sort of coming out and actually seeing things grow out here. So again, I'm probably going to put the trail camera out over the next few weeks again and just sort of see what sort of deer, what sort of wildlife is kicking about, just to make sure that everything's okay. I've got the gravity gates and fences, etc., around the actual garden itself just to sort of protect everything. So they don't come in and actually eat anything at all. But the other thing I'm going to be doing as well, I have the Wilcamping International Mess tin, and I'm only going to be using this today. So basically my main meal that I'm going to be doing tonight, really excited about, is going to be a pizza. So I'm going to be cooking a pizza in a mess tin, so you can watch that later. That should be fun. But I'm also going to be boiling all my water in it, and I've also got to fry it for tomorrow. So I'm just going to be using the mess tin, one pot for the whole thing. So that's going to be quite exciting as well. Potentially going to move the bird table. I have come in and I've seen that their birds have been there. They have eaten all the fat balls, but the likes of the mealworm, etc., is still there. So I may still move it. I'm going to have a little look at that. A couple of wee bits on the actual garden. Got to rebuild one of the actual gravity fences. But as I said, I'm just going to take a little 10-minute chill just now, start my book and actually relax. So what I'm also going to do to start off with is just get some firewood done for tonight as well. And I'm using the wee stove just as always as this at this particular spot. So I don't need to sort of cut massive big pieces. But what I am going to do is I'm going to use my saw that I actually made itself. I am contemplating making another one. Really good experience and really good little project. But I just can't quite get the tension done on the blade. And I think it's because of the design I've sort of done at the ends there. I need to have more of a pivot maybe. So I probably will actually get another one made reasonably soon. But does it saw? Yes, it does. So is there any gardeners that actually watch the channel? Just pop a wee comment below. And again, any advice, I'm always looking for advice. So on this pot I'm going to be doing spring onions in here, and then the other ones in there. And I've also got garlic, and I've got spinach there as well. Now the only thing about the spinach I'm not 100% certain about, because I got a really good crop last year. But what I'm just not 100% certain about is, do I just replant? There is a tiny little green shoot on it, which makes me think that it will actually come back again, which will be awesome. Now the one thing I have seen when I've come to this pot is this particular gravity gate, or fence I should say, has actually fallen down a little bit. And also there was almost like a snout shape sort of idea, so it does look as if an animal's had its sort of head in the thing. So tomorrow I'm going to rebuild that and make it a lot higher. And the idea behind the actual string across it was to try and deter it, but it looks as if they have sort of had a wee go. So again, see if I can get it round there, and that's just really to try and deter them to do it, as I was saying. So fundamentally, if they want in, they want in, and they're going to get in. Okay, so what I've done is I've just used the butt of this just to actually make the hole itself. For each individual one. So I'm going to be planting 8 in total. Okay, so that's them in, and then what I'll be doing is just looking for the shoots coming out, and then when the shoots come out I'll just actually build up and build up and build up and build up as we go. Hard to explain how exciting it actually is. Love it, absolutely love it. Right, let's do the onions. Well, the thing is, I am finding I'm a wee bit neat on space. So say for instance the likes of this, it's actually saying they should be sort of 3 centimetres down and 12 centimetres apart. But I just don't have quite enough space within the pot itself, but we'll see how we go. I'll do one more row and then it'll be carrots just in at the very end. Okay, so that's onions as well. So that's them done. So as I said, I've got the potatoes in there. I've actually just gone and put some onions in there, and then the main crop in there, and then I said there's also going to be carrots I'm going to put in there, and then also I've got the strawberries just on the side. So pleased with that, so pleased with that. Now basically the one other thing I'm going to really need to do is commit to coming up here at least once a week, more likely to be twice a week, and just actually water everything. So I am going to be watering everything just now, just sort of giving it a wee sprinkle. Now the other thing, anyone got any ideas on how to sort of gather water? Don't necessarily want to put plastics out at camp because there's nothing plastic here apart from one tarp. So the options I did have was actually sort of putting bottles, cut in half bottles actually close to this for it to actually collect water. Had various sort of ideas, etc. So if anyone knows of anything or has seen anything at all, please just drop a comment in the video below, because it would be fantastic to be able to sort of have an own water source here to be able to do the plants. But I said it needs to be as natural as possible, so that could be the challenge. But I said perfect, absolutely love it. And then again, hopefully, I said over the next few weeks, probably talking about June, July, something like that for the actual harvest itself. And again, I need to come up with a good meal this time because the stew last time was just absolutely epic. So I'll put a link to the stew just actually up in the corner there. But that was just absolutely epic at camp, and such a good feeling being able to actually use the materials, i.e. the likes of the cutlery that had been carved at camp, and then eating the food that had been growing at camp as well. So it was an epic feeling. Now I've got robins dotting about the camp, so I've actually put mealworm out again, but unfortunately I'd gone and left the mealworm, the bag of mealworm and also the bag of the fat balls at camp, just so I could actually sort of replenish it as I go, and somebody's gone and weeked the lot which my own stupid fault for leaving them here in the first place. But I said somebody's taken the whole harvest that I actually had, so again I'll need to get some more stuff for next time I come out of camp, get the birds fed. But I said just going to have another little chill just now, and then it's going to be a case of just, it's 1:30 just now, so I'm actually going to get lunch on, lunch stroke dinner, so I'm going to get the pizza on, get some food in me, and then get myself settled down for a nice night. Okay, so that's me just putting a wee bit more wood in the fire. So I need to keep an eye on the fire just now, because what I'm doing is the mess tin, the Wilcamping International one, I'm just actually sort of warming that up at the moment, not heating it up, but just warming it up. So it's just laying beside the actual fire itself. And as I said, I've done this once before and it turned out okay. So I was like, why not give it another try, i.e. disaster potential. But basically, again, from the point of view of, it's very similar to the bread that I actually made a few weeks ago. So keep a wee bit just in the bag, just for later. And then just make a wee hole in the middle in it. So again, what I'm going to do is I'll put the recipe just in the bottom there so you can all see it. So just adding in the olive oil. And then I've got the hot water. So what I'll do is just start bringing all that in together. So what I'll do is I'll sort of catch up with you once I've actually got this in more of a dough state. Okay, so that's me finished kneading the dough. So basically made it into a little ball, and the mess tin itself has actually just been sat beside the fire, just sort of getting warm. So it's not super hot, but it's just warm. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pop the dough just in there just now, and then place this again beside the fire. Now I'll be moving it round, sort of changing the angles off it to try and sort of give an average heat all the way around the actual dough itself. So just going to go on to that section, and then after that we'll take it back, knock it back and redo it again before we get the pizza topping on top of it. So I'll take this over. Right, okay, so I've just been chilling, reading, relaxing. And I said that has just been proving for the last hour. And all I'm going to do is just knock all the air back out of it again. Test for size, that's about right. Okay, so I've popped the cheese on. we are good to go. Okay, let's get it on. A little bit too much flame, but I'm sure it'll die down with these twig stoves. They dive down quite quickly. Okay, so we'll leave that for about 10 minutes. Okay, so let's see what we've got. So that was only on for, what, about 5 minutes or so. Wasn't long at all. Look at that. Wow. What's the best way? Dinner is served. Well, I'm also going to have my first beer of the night as well. And let's try out the pizza. That is really good. Oh, so good. Probably another 2-3 minutes on the stove might have made a difference. But I think I need to try and figure out, is it a case of maybe putting, well, if somebody can give me advice, more to stop the sort of paper getting burnt. What I should have done was maybe put a wee bit of oil in it. I think I forgot. But it tastes absolutely banging, and I'm looking forward to that. And a wee beer. So that's it. I'm just going to have my dinner just now, and then I'll hook up with you. Well, unfortunately, that's the rain coming in a bit earlier than expected, but I have to say that dinner was just brilliant, absolutely brilliant. Who doesn't like a little bit of pizza and a beer? So I thoroughly enjoyed that. But basically, as I said, the rain's just sort of coming in just now. It was meant to be another hour away, but it's just sort of starting to come in just now. So I'm going to get as much of the equipment into the shelter as possible. I do have the Some Blessed Bivy light with me tonight. So it should still be a case of me being able to sort of read and chill and enjoy myself. So it is going to be good, but as I said, I'm just going to get everything in there just now. What I'm probably going to do though, just before the rain really hits, is I'm probably going to jump up into the woods as well and get 2 Y sticks. So I'm going to rebuild one of the gravity fences tomorrow morning when I get up. So I just want to try and do that because there was definitely an animal's nose sort of snuffling around inside the second raised bed. So I just want to try and get that gate up as much as I can, or fence up as much as I can, just to try and stop them and sort of discourage them. So I said I'll pop up into the woods, grab that, get everything into the actual shelter, and I'll hook up with you just in a wee bit. And I said hopefully the rain's just going to be more sort of for showers as opposed to heavy rain. But I said this could be a little interesting test of the moss shelter, just to see if I can actually stay dry during the night itself. I say worst case scenario, if it does just tip down and I'm getting soaked, I will be heading back to the van. But I really hope that it manages okay, because I'd love to do an overnighter. I haven't done an overnighter in the shelter for absolutely ages. So I said just going to get everything into the shelter just now, and then I'll hook up with you in a wee bit. Well, there's been no drip so far, so everything's going to plan just now. But it's turning out to be a really nice night. It is raining still, but I can actually see that there's a little bit of clear sky up there as well. So hopefully it's not going to be a case of all night. But we'll just see what it is. If it is raining all night, it is raining all night. It'll be a really good test of the shelter, just to see if I can stay dry all night. But I'm just going to actually hunker down just now, do a little bit of reading. I'll catch up with you just before I go to bed though, and get the sleeping bag and the sleeping bag liner inside the bivvy bag. But no, I'm in for a nice, really relaxing evening, and I'm on to beer number 2. See you in a wee bit. Well, that's me just getting ready for bed now. Brilliant being able to get the fire on. It did sort of stop raining just for a little bit there, so just managed to get the sort of kitchen tidied up and the fire on just for a little bit, just to sort of get warm again. So really nice. It's such a nice that ambient light round the firewalls that are actually there. It just makes it so nice, and it really brightens up the whole area in the camp. So brilliant being able to get that on. But that's it, I'm just going to head to bed just now, carry on reading for a little bit. So barring any incident, I shall see you all in the morning. Well, good morning there, folks. The noise of the birds this morning is just unbelievable. There's nothing quite like waking up to that noise. It really is. It's just like you're lying there and then all of a sudden it's just you start becoming conscious of the noise, etc. as well. It's just majestic. It really is. But I had a really good sleep, and the main thing is the shelter's waterproof. So it didn't have any rain on me last night. It did pour with rain more or less for most of the night. But no, it didn't get any drips on me at all, so which was really good. What I have noticed though is my feet are just outside the shelter. It's maybe the bed's a little bit on the short side. So from that point of view, the end of the bivvy bag got wet. But apart from that, perfectly comfortable night. So I was actually trying out the OEX Fathom 400, I think it is, sleeping bag as well, and that's the second time I've used that Rab pillow, and both really good. Really impressed with it. The thing I found amazing was you could actually put the Rab pillow, you could sort of squeeze it into the hood area of the sleeping bag, because normally I wake up and the sleeping bag's gone and my neck's sort of twisted back, but no, it was absolutely perfect. So a really comfy sleep, but I need coffee. So it's going to be coffee and a little bit of a fry up, and then get on with today's chores, which again are going to be, so I am going to move the bird table. I'm just not seeing any action at the bird table whatsoever, so I'm going to move the bird table and try and get that in a better spot. What I have done sort of a wee bit yesterday and a little bit this morning as well, I've been sort of watching the area and sort of watching the birds, etc. And they are more closer to the sort of tree line or bush lines, etc. So I'm just going to put the bird table over there. Hopefully that will mean that they might get a little bit more activity. And then the other thing I'm going to be doing as well is rebuilding one of the gravity fences, just to try and stop the deer getting in. But I am going to put up a trail camera, which is going to be quite interesting. I'm going to put a trail camera up on one of the surrounding trees, just to try and see if I can get any footage, because it looks like a deer, but I just want to actually see exactly what it was. So time for coffee. That's just what's needed. It's still actually really, really cold. So some nice warm food and nice coffee. Life doesn't get any better. Right, I'm just going to finish my breakfast and then I'll hook up with you. Well, that has been probably the most chilled and relaxed I have been for months. I have sat for 45 minutes just now. So much to do, but I've just sat for 45 minutes just now just watching the birds. So there's 2 woodpeckers. I've got video of one of them, which you'll have seen probably by now. But there's 2 woodpeckers dancing around just on one of the trees beside me. There's robins actually all over the place, blue tits all over the place. Still nothing's taken anything from the bird table, which I do find very, very strange. They're going in the branches beside the bird table, but just not coming down onto it. But that's just been so relaxing. So relaxing. There's just nothing quite like it. And it's more just sometimes when you do sit there and sort of not move, they just become a bit sort of used to you, and they just crack on with their lives, just as you're able to sort of sit and watch it. Absolutely loved it. But what I'm going to do now, I am going to get cracking, and the first thing I'm going to do just now is the gravity fence. So I'm going to go and get 2 Y sticks just now, just so I can actually sort of hammer into the ground. And build that back up again, because I said it, whatever is laying over it has pushed it all down, as well as putting its nose in the earth, looking for food. So I said, let's head up into the woods just now and we'll see what materials we can actually get and then get it all repaired. So you can see there's a lot more height in that now. And I said that's just a gravity fence. All the components just weighing each other down. And then I said for a deer to be able to get its head over there and also down, I just don't think so. But I might need to sort of tie out that little bit there, just so that it can't get, because basically the hole itself where the snout had been, it was just in the actual section there. So that's it. I'm really looking forward to sort of coming out here sort of once or twice a week and sort of seeing everything grow as we sort of go along, you know. And again, I'll need to come up with a really good idea for a nice meal once everything's ready for harvest. Okay, so again, there's the bird table just there. So again, I just think I'm going to have to move it. There's cheese on there just now, nothing's taken it whatsoever. They're going really close to it, but they're just not taken. So it is a bit odd. I've not really seen it before, but as I said, I'm just going to move it over closer to the sort of tree line, just in the hope that they do actually start taking it, because that's the whole concept of it. And if I put it over near the picnic table, it still technically means I can actually sort of put some camera equipment there, just to try and get some photographs, etc. Because it would be amazing. As I said, when I was sat there earlier on for that 45 minutes, there were so many birds going up on the branches beside the tree looking at it, but they just weren't actually committing to going onto it. So a little bit on the odd side, But as I said, just going to get the bird table moved over, and then it'll be a case of packing down camp. Okay, so fingers crossed that actually might draw some more birds to it. And as I said, the picnic table is just behind, so there could be a situation where I actually get some photography and everything done as well. Okay, fingers crossed. Well, that's me just packing up camp just now. I've been watching that bird table for about the last hour just to see if there was anything going on. It's still nothing there. So we'll wait and see if the cheese is there next time I come back. There is also still mealworm there as well, so hopefully they'll get a little bit of a feed. But I just want to say thank you very much for watching if you're still watching up to this point. It's been a thoroughly enjoyable trip, absolutely amazing. The woodpeckers this morning, just being in nature, and just actually having that open shelter. It was such a good sleep last night, so it's been a really good couple of days. So I just want to say thanks very much for watching, and we'll see you in the next video. Take care, bye bye.